Today, I'm going to show you how you can track your progress because what do most people want to do whenever they try to change their diet or they try exercising? They want to lose weight, right? But specifically, they want to lose body fat. So some people or a lot of people actually get sort of caught in this trap where they are only looking at the number on the scale. So you don't want to always just be looking at this number because it's going to fluctuate. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. It's based on a number of factors, and it can be extremely frustrating and it can be very demotivating to not see that number go down. So here is one really good way that's going to help you track your progress. And this is by simply taking measurements of your body. Because if your goal is to look better, to look more toned, to have confidence whenever you're out in public, maybe with not a lot of clothes on, or taking your shirt off. So the best way to track that is just by measuring your body. So I'm going to show you just 3 areas that you really need to measure your body to keep track of, because yes, you can measure your calves, your legs, your midsection, your upper body, your neck. You can measure so many different areas, but here are the main 3 that you're going to want to keep track of. So the first one is your hips. So you're going to want to take the widest part of your hips. Now I'm using a soft measuring tape. You have to use a soft measuring tape. This one is actually really good because I can just open it up and put it in the slot here, and then I can just look at the number. There's a little button here actually, and I'll actually include the link to this one specifically in the with the post itself. So you're gonna just click it, look at the number here, and then I'm gonna record that maybe in a spreadsheet on a piece of paper. Or even a lot of people use an app. Like I will typically, if I'm coaching somebody online, I will just have them plug it into an app. So that way it's an easy place to store that number. So then we can refer back to it, to measure our progress. But for you, you might be, putting it in a spreadsheet, you might be putting it in your phone, or just even writing it down on a piece of paper to keep track of it. So the first one is the hips. It's the widest part of your hips. And then plug that number in or write it down. The next one is your belly or your abdomen. So this one is right in line with your belly button. Typically, this is going to be like the widest part for males, just because we tend to store a lot of body fat in our midsection. For females, it's generally in the hips. But then I'm going to want to put that around. Make sure it's nice and tight. You don't want to pull it snug, but you also don't want to have it loose. Just make sure it's a little bit snug, but not to where you're pulling it too hard, because then you can easily throw the numbers off. And then you take that number, you plug it in. Now, before I show you the last one here, you should, or I recommend that you do this and you track it in centimeters as opposed to inches, just because centimeters are easier to track. You can just round it up or round it down to 101 or 100 centimeters. It's just much easier than saying, oh, is that 44.25 inch? Is it 44.5? And it's just easier to track overall. So the last one is going to be your waist. So your waist is just below your rib cage. So if you feel your sides here, you can feel the bottom of your ribs. And then just below that, that's where you're going to measure. So it's usually about a couple of inches above your belly button. And it should be probably a little bit smaller than your belly button for most people. And then you're just going to look at that number, boom, and then you plug that into your app or you write it down. Now, how often should you be doing this? You generally want to do this about once a week. You don't need to do it every day. If you want to do it every 2 weeks, that's fine. Heck, if you want to do it once a month, that's fine too. I would generally recommend that you do it at the same time under the same conditions every week. So what does that mean? It means, let's say on Sunday morning, you're going to wake up, you might take your body weight and you're going to do your measurements. So you have no food in your body, you have no water, you haven't drank any water that day, and you've already gone to the bathroom. You've sort of flushed all the fluids and all the toxins out of you. That's what you want to do when you are measuring your body weight, but also what you want to do when you're doing your measurements as well, just because you want to take away all the variables as much as possible. So why is it important to track your measurements? It's important to track your measurements because you might not be losing weight on the scale, But if you're losing inches or centimeters on your body, that's a very good thing because that indicates that you're actually losing body fat. Will this number go down every single week? Will it go down every 2 weeks? No, but it's just important that we track these numbers so then we have more data to go off of, and it can be really motivating to know that things are actually changing, things are moving in the right direction. And if they're not, what do we need to do? What do we need to change in order to start making progress in the right direction? So hopefully this helps you if you've been struggling to, lose weight and you're just frustrated and unmotivated to keep going because you're not sure if you're actually progressing. This can be a tool that you can add to your toolbox so then you can know for sure, if things are actually moving in the right direction, if that is your goal.